Hey,
Hello.
ladies.
Hi. We are the Power of Women podcast. This feels so weird being on seeing it. Oh
I
my
know.
God, we're here.
I know. It's crazy.
Ladies, this is our season finale. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that? I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for rocking with us and listening to all the episodes so far.
Yeah,
This is our
man.
very last episode for season 1. And we are diving into
Body
body
shaming.
shaming.
Let's do it.
Yes. Body shaming for women, especially. Well, obviously, that's what we talk about. Women in society our bodies are constantly under the spotlight.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? We are either too much or not enough.
Right.
And it's something that happens to women, especially from childhood. From me in particular, I can only speak I speak on my experience. My body has been sexualized since I can remember. One of my first memories of it being sexualized even was just me being a child. I think I was probably about 3 or 4, and I love to dance. Yeah, as a child, I love to dance. And when I hear the music, I'll be flexing up I used to flex up. I don't know. That was just how I used to like to.
As you
I
should.
loved it. Little babies, so I'd be getting down. And then I'd have family members saying, oh, don't dance like that. Why are you moving your waist? Don't move your body like that. It's not good. So from a young age, I know I now feel shame about my body. If I'm trying to just dance in a way in which I find natural, I was conscious of the fact that if I did that, then it means that I am dirty. I just had that feeling from a very young age. My body was just meant to be I felt and if I showed it, I was dirty too. So if I was to wear short skirts, it would be dirty, And then I was also told all the time, when I'd see other people wearing short skirts or shorts or, and I'd be like, well, I want to wear that, to my mum. And I'd be told, well, you have a different body type. Your body type doesn't allow you to wear things like that, because I can't. If I wear it, then I look like a hoe, basically. I'm judged on wearing this. But if anybody else wears it, they're not judged, which is bullshit anyway, because women are judged, period. Whether or not she's slim or whether or not she's thicker, we're judged. Our bodies are constantly, we're told that we don't have autonomy over our bodies. We don't have autonomy over how we dress. None of that stuff. It's constantly from a very young age.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's where I feel like most of the trauma that I know and a lot of the women immediately around me, you can always go right back to childhood and point out when you were told about this part of your body or that part of your body. Right. Or, and it's funny because, you are not aware of these things. And then out of nowhere, one day somebody makes you aware that you're thick. Right. Or your body looks like this, or you're too thick, you're too small. You have no boobs, or you know what I'm saying? Things that I've heard kids say
constantly, or your boobs are too big, you need to wear a bra. It's constant. Yeah.
My niece said that to she didn't say it to me, but my niece said that.
How old is your niece?
She is preteen, and she
11,
said 12. That she wants to she's 12.
Yeah.
She's 12. And
that's the age.
You're transitioning, you're getting older, everybody's developing differently, and everybody is making you aware of it. The music doesn't help because it's in all the music. And you are scrutinized for the way that you look.
Right.
And you are shamed for, like you said, if you look away, if you're a curvy young girl, you are shamed for it, from people, from family, even in church, from looking a certain way or wearing certain clothes, even though you can't help the way that the clothes fit you. But then you're also praised in certain aspects. That's when you have the perverts coming out, talking about how your body looks like this and how I've heard guys say this thing, and it's so ignorant to me, girl. They say, yeah, she may be young, but she looked like she's ready. Things like that.
Oh, bruh. They say that all the time. I used to see a meme about it even. Yeah. They're like, when her body's banging, but she's 15, but it doesn't matter. And I'm just looking at them like, you guys are really repulsive. Like, how do you look at a child and say, like, because heaven forbid women, this is a really disgusting example and I don't even really want to give it, but I'll do it anyway. Like, can you imagine, right, that we see a child? Because oftentimes as well, even if the girl is like, because they tell us as a young age, she's very developed, right? Like you'd be looking at a 8-year-old and saying she has breasts and she has a bum. Okay, she has that. What does that mean? Is it not just a natural part of her body growing naturally? So if I see a little boy and I'm looking at, first of all, when I see a little boy, I'm not looking at him and analyzing his body. That's like, I just don't. And especially not in a sexual nature. But imagine now, let's say a little boy was more developed in his sexual organs, right? I would now be like, well, are you mad? Do you not know how that sounds?
He looks old enough.
Like he got, like, are you normal? No, but do you know what I mean? They don't know how mad they are. Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck he has as a little boy. I don't care. He is a child. That is just his bodily organ. Like, are you? And they say,
I think that it's real telling too, though, of like how messed up the mind is when they think like that. Because whether you're the person that's looking at a child and lusting after a child, you have absolutely no self-control and you're lusting after a child, whether you're that person or whether you're the teacher, the family member, somebody in church or whoever, telling a child that what they're doing looks sexual to you because of the clothes that they have on or because of the way that they're dancing or standing or sitting. It's a problem. You are sexualizing the child. And all of it ties back into body shaming because you're putting this pressure on children to have to guard themselves and feel bad about the way they look when they don't even understand that they don't even understand this concept yet. So you throw that energy on them, like, no, don't sit like that. No, don't do that. And you're told as a girl all the time, like, close your legs, sit like this.
Close your legs.
You know what I mean? I've never heard anybody.
So why do men not have to close their legs? Yeah. What's the difference?
I've never heard anybody. Right. You never tell boys to close their legs. You never tell boys not to look. You just say, girls, close your legs. You are responsible for that. Like, because obviously we can't put any responsibility on boys. Like, why would we do that?
It's a shame.
It is. And I saw a post recently, a few posts recently. And there was this guy talking about he would fight. What did he say? He didn't say he would fight her. I think he said he would immediately divorce or leave his wife if he got married. He's not married. If he got married and she had a kid and she lost her body, like if she wasn't in shape or wasn't looking a certain way, he was like, I would leave her so quick. I would tell her one time. He said it real proud. I would tell her one time, get it together. Look at how your body is looking. God. He said, and if she didn't get it together, I'd let her know, like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. After having a baby, it's crazy.
They have there's no empathy for women. Like, they don't know. I think they don't really see women as human beings. They don't anyway. Because if you did see women as human beings, I need to get closer. If we did see women as human beings in general, you would be able to like empathize with them, but you don't. You really see them as objects, right? And objects for your disposal and usal anyhow you want. But even then, like I always say, even if women are just objects, that's the problem. Like, they're really not groomed to be decent human beings in general. Because if you are a decent human being in general, whether something is an object or whether something is living, you still treat that thing nicely. Right? So now let's say you are objectifying women. Yeah, we are objects, right? Fine. We are talking objects, living, breathing objects for you, no problem, right? But you still, when the object now, we don't deserve any kind of, let's not treat that one nice. They deserve no empathy. They deserve no niceness, just in general, because they are objects, even if we were objects. Like, they're just really taught not to have. So I think inherently I always say that men have an issue with women because they're nice to men and da-da-da-da-da. But I think the issue is they're actually just inherently not nice. You're inherently not nice. Yeah, you're not nice. And I always say that because if you are nice, you're not subjective about your niceness or subjective about your empathy or your human emotions. Like, how can she just have had your baby? Because to me, that story just tells me, look at the people we have children with. We have to be fucking careful.
They be
Like
feeling
we
like
have to be
that.
so careful.
And
And he's
those are the
so
kind of
entitled.
conversations they would not, some of them will have it in your face, but a lot of them would not have that conversation in your face. Make you think they love you. You done got
Oh,
married, you done had a baby by this person, and they sitting over here looking at you after
being repulsed.
you've damn near died to create this child, and they're looking at you with all this disgust.
You've
Like
discussed.
she better hurry up and get herself together.
Like no, like zero empathy, zero compassion, zero love. Like
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So
be real disgusting
it's
with it.
crazy because when I think about it, it's like you can't win when you're a child, as a young girl, as a child. You are shamed for. I was always a real small girl, real
Yeah.
small, and I was always too small. I was always too small, and
Right.
it's crazy because I got a crazy appetite. I've always had a really healthy appetite.
Yeah.
Always loved to eat, and I feel like I don't know if it was just because I sincerely wanted to eat, or if I was taking on the energy that I need to eat
Mhm.
more because people used to say it to me, and it didn't
Mhm.
affect me. It didn't do anything to me. But I
Yeah.
used to binge eat, just eat crazy, ridiculous things.
Mm.
And you know, but then I still I know a lot of women on the other spectrum where you're told, you're too big, you're too small, you're too something.
Right.
And whatever you are too much of, you're still going to be sexualized, whether you're too small or whether you're too thick. Men are still going to look at you. There are still people that are going to be perverts. There are still people that are going to cross those boundaries as pedophiles because they don't care how your
Definitely.
body looks. They are really sexualizing you regardless. And then, you go into life as you get older as a young woman. You have society and these beauty standards, these especially these European beauty standards, and whatever the new trend is for the look. You have everything outside of you telling you that you're not enough of this or not enough of that, that you need to change this about yourself, or you'll be prettier if you did this. Whether
Mm.
that's changing your body, whether that's changing your hair, your skin, your teeth, whatever it is. It's like constantly
Everything
having to
basically
manipulate yourself to now meet
to
this
fit
standard.
in.
And then now, to add insult to injury, you've now produced a whole life, which is a crazy accomplishment. And
Right.
and you are shamed as a woman. And it's that snapback culture, whether that pressure is coming from other women that you see that, for whatever reason, God blessed them and they just was able to jump back out of it. But then you have women
Yeah.
feeling that pressure, like, oh my God, like, why isn't my body doing that? When the
Right.
reality is all of our bodies are different, all of our bodies are going to respond different. And the most important thing is your health and your life, because so
Right.
many women die, especially Black women died during that time period. So the focus has to be your health. But you have your man sitting over here looking at you with disgust. You are constantly shamed. Excuse me.
Society, even you might have in-laws,
Constantly.
like even over here, yeah, like snap back, snap back, snap back. Like, yeah,
Like, why
yeah.
is that what we're focused on? Really? Is that what we're
Right. The
focused on right now?
physicalities, right? It's crazy. And then the person now, the woman who's just had the baby, um, is now in such her mental state is already stressed because obviously she's just had a baby and she probably is feeling her husband's energy or her partner's energy. And then now on top of that, she's also even further depressed
Mm,
because she does not like her body. Because this is we both had issues with bodies, right? So
right.
how your mind can get when you feel like your body's unattractive. So you're just dealing with having a brand new life,
Right.
surviving labor, first of all, like surviving that. And then your body
Right.
now has to heal properly. But in fact, your body, you can't heal
No.
because your mind is literally, some women even go straight under the knives. I think I heard, who was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Cardi said that, not this time around, but I think like her first child, or was it Black China? One of them anyway went directly under the knife straight after having a baby. And I know you're not supposed to do that. I think I read it somewhere. And she went
Very.
directly under the
That's
knife.
so
Like,
scary. But
and I was just like, oh my God.
that even shows like the type of pressure that's put on you as a
That's
woman.
exactly,
Because
that's the
it's
point.
like your focus isn't even your health at
No,
that point.
no,
You're allowed to look however your body looks and just relax. You are
right.
allowed to do that. But the fact that you feel that pressure, even when you feel that pressure within yourself, that's a lot because see, childbirth is like life changing and traumatic, and then so is surgery. So have a woman giving birth, and your focus is, how can I hurry up and look back snatched? You know what I'm saying? How can
Yeah,
I hurry up and snap back? And it's like,
yeah,
the unfortunate thing is we have been taught that our lives are so insignificant, and our meaning and our worth here lies in how we look to society and how pleasing we are to
Right.
everybody else. And we've developed our own view of ourselves. So when we see ourselves, we have to see ourselves perfect. And if we
Right.
don't, we're not good enough.
Perfect in our opinion.
Perfect in it's society standards of what
True.
that looks like. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's crazy
Yeah.
because we don't accept individuality and embrace the differences that our bodies have,
Right.
and the beauty that comes with that. Instead, it's just like, you need to look like this, period.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you now somehow lose. And men keep saying it anyway. They saying it online all over the place that women lose their value once they have
I
kids.
really just look at them and I just think there's something they should be in like mental asylums. I don't even think they should
Yeah,
be in society. Honestly,
definitely.
like guys, when
When
you're
they're saying
talking,
things
I
like that, yeah,
yeah, I'm like, you
definitely.
should be like
Yeah,
excluded somewhere
yeah,
because your views are quite, I can't even go back and forth with you at this point. Like
yeah, yeah. They're sick.
they are like, and they say it with so much chest. I'm like, do you know what you're saying? Like it's quite scary though, isn't it? Because
You think they
we
really know
can
what
you
they're saying? They know what they're
I'm not,
saying.
yeah, I think they
I mean, I don't
do.
know.
I think that, do you know what, right? Obviously, I don't think that they're not self-aware, period. And they think they're so
Right.
self-aware. You're clearly not. There's something so severely wrong with you, because I think that if you kind of understood what you were saying, from a
It
conscious
shows how far
perspective,
away from the soul and the
you
spirit they are.
right.
You know
That's
what
what
I
I was gonna
mean?
say.
Like very
Yes.
far away.
Very,
You
very
It's like you're so caught up in this, you know what I mean?
right, right, right.
In life and what
And
in
in an oppressive way as well, because again, I don't understand. I guess maybe because we're women, but
yeah.
then there's some women who don't even understand what's happening anyway. So I think it's really just because we grew up in a society that tells us that we're less than and we should continue to behave and believe that we're less than, right? But we have somehow managed to I think after they have beaten you enough, that's what I always say. People say, Tess, what caused your growth? And I always say, pain.
Mm.
Pain. I'd had enough. So when you have enough of like everybody around you kind of pulling you, battering you, and even yourself, you literally sit down and ask some really deep questions like, why am I like this? Like I want to be the best version of myself. But with men, they just don't have I feel like they just don't, inherently, they just don't care.
Yeah.
Inherently, they just don't, they're not bothered about being decent human beings. Like they're so removed from it. They like the oppression. Like, and that's my point. So from a very young age, I haven't liked any kind of oppression. I don't like you hurting animals. I don't like you hurting people. I don't care whether it's not me. I've always been the child that if I see something, I'm like, what are you doing? That's not nice. Right? Just even if it doesn't benefit me, it is what it is.
Right.
But men don't seem to have that. They cannot do it.
Mm.
So what is that? Because I'm
lack
like,
of empathy. When you lack empathy, what are you? Are you like technically considered like a
sociopath, I think.
is
Isn't that
that a
sociopathic?
sociopath?
Yeah, sociopaths. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
A lot of them
Yeah.
are.
And
A lot of them
narcissists as
are.
well, because it's for
Yeah.
their benefits. Yeah. They
Yeah.
just don't
They're
they don't
almost one and
know.
the same, narcissists and sociopaths. A lot of sociopaths are
They are
narcissists
very,
and vice
yeah.
versa.
Yeah. Because you think about it and I'm like, why is that? Again, this is where we keep talking about the man and the women aspect because that's what it is. But you as a human being in general, do you not even think like, take your penis out of it, right? And your oppressive hats, because that's what it is. Just take that out and think of, okay, if it was me, how would I feel? But you're like, well, I can feel like this, but you can't feel like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know obviously it's not good for me, but it's
Right.
good for you. You can take it as a woman.
Right.
I think they just don't want to give up the benefit. They like the system. I think they really like the system. I don't think they're not aware of the system. I just think that they really like the system.
Yeah.
And then obviously we're the ones who suffer. And this is why I'm saying, ladies, that honestly, with your bodies, just do what you want to do for you. Like I am the girl and the child and a woman who was constantly told, don't wear this, don't wear that. And I told myself that I can't wear this, I can't wear that because my body does not fit or it won't look good on my body, or okay, let me not wear this because I don't want too much attention. That's another thing I used to do all the time. Like I don't want too much eyes on me. But you know what? Fuck everybody else. Like this is your body. Your body is only supposed to look like your body. As long as you're doing what you're loving on your body. This is what I always say. Your body doesn't have to look like my body. My body doesn't have to look like your body. I always say I want the best version of my body. I don't want to look like Beyonce. I don't want Beyonce's body. I don't want Rihanna. I don't want any of their bodies. You know what I mean? But there's more to life than that. if you are, just look after yourself and be healthy. That's what I always say anyway. But don't let people shame you out of just being free. If you want to wear that bikini, wear it. You have a bikini body. You have a body and it's a bikini, so put it on. Do you know what I mean? Okay, you have a fupa, or oh, I don't have an ass, or I don't have boobs. It does not matter. Don't let anybody shame your
As
body.
long as
You
you are
are
happy with yourself, be happy with yourself.
blind. That's the thing. You need to, in fact, get happy with yourself. Because I'm not even going to say as long as you are happy, only because we know that clearly we're not happy with ourselves, because this is what's causing it. So, but just don't care about anyone else's opinion. You're so beautiful. You look gorgeous just the way you are. The Most High made no mistakes on you. Like even when Tori mentioned earlier, being a child, right, and wanting to eat lots, and you not knowing whether you wanted to eat lots because you wanted to, or just because people had put it onto you, right? And no matter how much you ate, you didn't get as thick as you wanted,
right?
Because you are beautiful as you are. Your body was made the way your body was made, because you're meant to look like you.
Right.
And that's the point. We don't have the same bodies. We can't be going around like robots with no, and it just shows how insecure the collective consciousness of humanity is. Because when you kind of come out of that system, you can really look around and be like, wow, this sheep life doesn't even make sense. Do you not see that you have no individuality? And right now,
everybody
it's your
feels
fear. You're moving off of fear. Yeah.
Everybody feels
Everybody's
it, no
so
matter what.
scared.
And the fear is rejection.
It is.
And not being worthy, not being,
Yeah.
not being
Not being
loved,
liked,
or
not being,
not being accepted. And even if that's by yourself, and you start to take on those opinions about how you look, and it's a very revolutionary thing to accept yourself. It's extremely revolutionary to accept yourself and to be happy with yourself, and to decide that I'm going to focus on what makes me happy and my health. And when you're focused on your health and your happiness, everything else aligns in your best interest. Whatever you are, whatever you manifest, whatever you look like, that is you.
Yeah.
Whether you decide to do something to yourself and change yourself in a permanent way, or however temporary way, or whatever, or whether you decide not to, those decisions are different when they are internal, and when you've done that work, that self-love, and going on that journey. And I think that part is so important. And it's crazy because it's so normalized to feel this way, and you're taught that from so young, to have all these issues with yourself and that you're not good enough. And it continues, it perpetuates. The older you get, it's terrible.
Then you
as a
have kids and
teenager.
you start to perpetuate it on your kids as well.
Girl, it's funny because I always say that, like, you struggle with yourself, and being happy with yourself and feeling whole your whole life. And then you have a child, and it's a gamble. You don't know what your body's going to look like. You don't know how anything is going to feel, how anything is going to sit. Some things change permanently. You don't know what that's going to be. You don't know if you're going to develop stretch marks or not. You don't know if something's going to be hanging or not. You don't even know if all your organs are going to shift back the same way. So some things literally permanently change. And the most important thing is when you have that self-love and that peace from within, and that you're happy and you have your own understanding of life and what it means to you, when you go through those changes, you can accept and embrace the change.
Right.
Because this is who you are, and when you're focused on you, you're going to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance, i.e. eating good, and if that's working out, or if that's resting, or whatever that looks like to you, just taking care of yourself, because you're actually focused on your health and not the surface level things. The surface level things are benefits, because when you're taking care of yourself, everything kind of naturally eases its way out. If you're insecure about your skin, or if you're insecure about, whatever your body looks like, if you want to be more toned, you naturally, when you love yourself, you naturally go, I want to work out. I want to tone up. I'm feeling like I want to do it.
The love shows
Or
on your body.
I'm feeling tight and feeling pain. I want to be more flexible. I need to do more yoga. Or, I want to change the way I'm eating. And then you naturally end up losing weight. You're like, I'm in a better headspace. So now I'm eating a proper diet, and now I'm gaining weight and I'm building muscle. And so your body will end up manifesting into this beautiful thing that it was always meant to be, when you accept yourself and accept who you were meant to be, but we have to break free of that trauma. It's the trauma that holds us back.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful. Absolutely. I agree with that. You have to accept yourself. How powerful is that? Accept yourself as you are. And I think that is honestly the key to happiness, because you can accept yourself as you are, like you said, and also continue to work on being better every day. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that you don't think that you're good as you are now. You know that you're fantastic, but obviously life is about growth.
Right.
So, because when we talk about happiness all the time, we say make ourselves happy. It's self-acceptance, like true self-acceptance, because we don't accept ourselves and society doesn't accept us. But what I find is once you start to accept yourself, society too also starts to accept you. And even if they don't, you don't give a damn, because you accept yourself and you're so comfortable with yourself. And oftentimes as well, when you start to accept yourself and see yourself for who you are, you can see that other people are projectors. So you can only project onto me because you don't accept yourself. So when people see me now, I might say something ridiculous. They very rarely, when I didn't have as much self-love as I do now and self-acceptance, people would say problematic things to me all the time. Like, I feel like my energy was giving off. I don't know. They would just, like, they'd comment on my weight, which was my trigger regularly. They just comment on a lot of things, but now they don't do it as much. And even when they do it, one, I don't take it as offensively, because you're just projecting. You don't have the self-love, because if you had self-love, you wouldn't look at me and say that. You would look at me and see love. But because you can't really recognize it, when you see me, you have to say something nasty. So I don't even take that person. And I'm like, that's literally, you are just projecting what you've been taught. So I just feel, I feel sorry for them in essence, but not even in a condescending way, but genuinely thinking, oh man, I wish I could wish you self-love. Do you know what I mean? I wish I could wish you self-acceptance. Honestly, it really is the key to happiness as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's free. Because searching for validation outside on how you look and how you are and what you should wear. I used to do it all the time. Sometimes even with you, even with Jazz, but I'm trying not to do it as much. And I'm actually making a conscious effort not to be like, oh, what do you think I should wear? Or should I wear this? Or should I wear that? And even something as small as that. Yeah. Like, I'd have to send pictures. Do you remember? Oh my God. I remember, it's not as bad now, but I remember when I would always have to take pictures of my outfits before I left the house. Not even before I left the house. If I was going out and I wanted to wear an outfit, I'd have to take a picture of the front, the back, and the side. And I would do that with maybe, like, if there's like 5 outfits or 10 outfits I want to wear, I'm doing that. And then I'm looking at all the different angles. All my siblings knew. I'd be like, take a picture of the front, the back, and the side, so I can see what my body looks like in it. Do I look fat in it? Or is my cellulite showing? Is my food bar showing? And I could not get dressed unless I was doing that. I couldn't.
Crazy, bro. It's crazy because that even hearing that, right? I know so many people, including myself, that have felt like that.
Yeah.
Like, you constantly have to check everything. And I think the saddest part about it is how much it limits you.
Yeah.
It limits the things that you do, even things that you might be something that you really want to do, you know, or you're excited about, but you will see yourself as you are and feel so insecure because of outsiders' opinions and society's opinions about what's not right that you've taken on, and you now believe it. You now limit your opportunities. You limit your growth. You limit the things that you do, and
society will clap for you as well and say, yes, limit yourself. Good.
Yeah, that's why it's so normalized for people to like walk up to you and just say, oh, you look like you gaining weight. Oh, you look like you
anyhow,
or you need to gain weight. And it'd be like, why? You know, it's funny to me how people are so comfortable doing that. Yeah, is people are so comfortable talking about people and even talking to you about yourself. People are so comfortable walking up to you and telling you something about yourself. And it's like, mind your business.
Right. Like, what gave you that right? Like, what actually gave you that right?
I feel like it's worse in the older generation too. I mean, it's bad in general. People are too comfortable.
Yeah. But the older generation could care less about boundaries. My God.
Yeah, no, they weren't.
And they take boundaries as a personal attack. So if they've come up to you and told you that you're fat and you're like, what? Don't talk to me like that. They're like, but I'm just telling you that you're fat. Like, I don't understand. They're like, I'm just telling you the truth. That is what you are.
I'm helping you.
Keep your truth and help yourself. Why do you always feel the need? And they do it to they do it to each other more than anything, but they do it to the younger generation as well. And it's like, you keep thinking that we need your help. The things that we need your help with, you are nowhere to be found. But when it comes to like creating complexes and problems and self-esteem issues, that is where I will find you.
Right.
Because if you really gave a damn about me, I'm telling you, I don't want you to talk to me like that. I really don't like that. Then you can, and I'm like, this is for my peace of mind. Then accept my boundary, right? If you care about me, but you don't want to accept the boundary. You want to be able to tell me constantly what you think is wrong with me. And I'm not having that. Leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? But they have that. They do that particularly, especially with weight as well. Weight is everything. They
Weight
talk about everything
especially.
with,
Weight
yeah, they do everything
especially.
with us anyway. But weight is such a problematic issue in this society. Like, it's mind blowing. You see somebody and you would judge them straight away based off of their weight. And I've heard people say some really repulsive things about weights.
Yeah.
People who are slimmer, people who are overweight. And I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, why are you commenting on somebody's body? Does that make you feel better?
Just giving
And when you
people
look
eating
on,
disorders.
like,
People
why are
be
you
out here with
so,
people be out here with eating disorders and ruining their health because of other people
because
telling
of
them how
people's
they look.
opinions?
Because of how
And
you think I look.
and I should not embody that and take that on. Like, I'm just like, why do you not see there's something wrong with you? And you be like, oh, that's disgusting. It's because, and they tell themselves, oh, if the person is overweight, it's like, oh, they're not healthy. And if the person is underweight, oh my God, they just look like skin and bone, they're not healthy. Mind your goddamn business. Only worry about yourself. Because if you are that much of a good Samaritan, right? Because you're worried about how this person's physicality is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in that person's mindset. You don't know how their mind is. You don't know what's in their bank account. Did you look at them and say, oh, let me help you there? No, that's none of your concern.
Not. Of course
What
not.
you care about, you don't know if they're working. You know nothing about them. But you're like, I'm just concerned about them because their health. Just because you've judged their body. You don't even know what, in fact, they're probably healthier than you are.
Right. No, that's
You
true.
have no idea. Like, so it's like it's a vanity thing. It's just, and I find it really repulsive when people judge people by their physical appearances. I cannot stand it. Now, unless you're dirty, and even then, I'm saying dirty, but that's still none of my business, just because I have an issue with like cleanliness and I don't like you to smell or whatever. But even if you are around me and you're stinking, right, and I think you're smelling, again, I think it's just where I'm at right now. I still I wouldn't judge you. Like, oh my God, you're so disgusting. You just
because you never
smell.
know
Yeah, I'm like,
somebody's
you
situation
don't
or
know what's
what they
going
got
on.
going
So
on.
the person might just, but even then, I'm just like, don't talk about, does that make you feel good? I know it makes you think you are entitled, but just leave people alone. And then especially when you're being negative, it makes me judge you. That's when I become a judge. Well, not a judge in the sense, like, but it just makes me think, oh no, you are really low vibrational, like all of a sudden you become the gym instructor. These times you yourself don't even go gym.
Right.
You yourself don't even work out, but you're over here looking at her saying she shouldn't wear those shorts because she's too fat and she needs to work out. You need to work out. Everybody needs to work out.
I remember being younger and hearing like adults having conversations. You know how people like to talk about people. And if I was out somewhere, let's say it's summertime, you out somewhere and it's a girl that's like heavier and she has on a crop top or certain things.
Yeah.
I always heard people say, oh, she's not supposed to be wearing nothing like that. You can't wear stuff like that when you that size, or you can't do it. I used to hear things like that all the time. And it's funny to me because as a child, you're just looking at people like, well, everybody wears whatever it is that this person is wearing. It's like, I didn't know that you couldn't wear it. If they make
Body
it,
shape.
if they make it and and it fits you, then you could wear it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But it's something that I never paid too much attention to until I got older and I saw women that love themselves or trying to love themselves. And they're larger women and they was bomb and they was sexy and they was wearing their little dresses and they had on their little tops and they got on their crop tops. And, I've even had moments where as small as I am, where I'm like, oh, my stomach don't look perfect or this doesn't look right. And I don't want, so I don't want to wear this. So when I see a woman that is that confident, where you are in love with the way that you look and you're doing it for you, it's so empowering, girl.
It's a different kind of
It feels
energy.
good for me when I see that. I'm like, yes, girl, you look good. You look good and you look like you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different kind of energy. So I think definitely moving away from that mind state and realizing and recognizing when you have toxic thought patterns about yourself and about other people.
Right.
Whether it's you over criticizing yourself or whether it's you looking at people and just talking about them, talking about their bodies and It's just something you have to check. I remember, real quick, I remember a friend of mine, she's always been real small, she's beautiful, but she's just I don't even want to say, but she's beautiful and she's small.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
she doesn't have, she's not real hippie, and she don't got a lot of booty, and she got a lot of boobs. She has had some kids and stuff. So, but I remember her, she went and got her body done. And I remember, um before she got her body done, she saw another woman that had actually like a very similar body shape to hers. And she was like, "Oh, that don't look good. Her body don't look good. That body shape that's
Mm.
ugly." She said it was so ugly. And she just
Oh,
sat there and talked about her. And I was just like, I was just listening. I'm just sitting here listening. I didn't give any input. I just sat there and listened. And I'm like, y'all body look the same.
yeah.
Y'all body look the same.
Yeah, they do that a
And
lot.
that's really
Yeah.
mean, because you're
Yeah.
now going to, at that point, she had already had her appointment scheduled to go get her body done. But it's like, what if this girl don't have the money? Or what if this
Right.
girl doesn't want to change her body? What if she doesn't want to go under the knife?
And you
What if she's
changed your
afraid of
body
that?
because, yeah,
You
and that's
change
her
it because you didn't
projection
feel
because she
like,
was
you
so,
don't feel
yeah,
like it looks good. But
yeah,
who says what looks good?
right. And
Like,
then
who
now you're now
cares?
projecting that onto someone else because you know what, as well, I think they get it. What's happening is that she's feeling very, um, it's a slick attack. They feel slick attacked because obviously, especially when you're embracing yourself, because you hate yourself so much in that
Yeah,
state. So when you now see somebody else who looks like that and is not bothered by it, that does not perceive themselves to be a problem like you do,
right,
it's like, what? You need to, people say that, well, you need to lose a few pounds, but you need to do this, or I don't need to do anything.
right.
I don't need to. And the thing is, think about it. I remember when you're talking about her getting her body done and then now doing the same thing to another woman. I was thinking about a song by Destiny's Child a few days ago, right? I used to love Destiny's Child when I was younger. And one of my favorite songs was called Nasty Girl. Do you remember Nasty Girl? Nasty, put some clothes on. I told
Mhm.
you, don't walk out your house with no clothes on. Those are the lyrics, right? And isn't it flipping ironic? When I thought about that song the other day, and I said, oh my God, this is actually the problem with society. You release a song talking about nasty girl, put some clothes on. You can't, what she says, she's like, cleavage from here to Mexico. She walks with a twist, one hand on her hip. Already, the way she walks is problematic. She walks with a twist, one hand on her hip, cleavage from here to Mexico. So because her cleavage is out now, she's problematic. She's like, put some clothes on, nobody wants you. Destiny's Child now are always naked. They're literally always naked. They're literally sexy ass. They're always, and she's talking about sexualizing, walks with a hand on it. That's what you guys are.
Right.
But then now you're releasing a song also now shaming and defaming women who wear short clothes. Nasty, put some clothes on. I told you, don't walk out your house without no clothes on. Like, what? And it's such a crazy level of like disconnect from self as well. Cause it's like, we're Destiny's Child, right? We can be
It's
naked.
different. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
different.
So, but you small children that are listening to us
Mhm.
and you teenagers and
Put some clothes
don't
on.
go out, put clothes on, but we can
Mhm.
not wear clothes because obviously we're
Mhm.
celebrities. But and that is the problem. It's a constant. Everybody wants to tell the woman how she should accept her body or how she should or shouldn't accept her body.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she needs to, we as women, we just need to accept our bodies and fuck everybody else. They do not get a say in how you live your life or how you love yourself. If someone has a problem with how you love yourself, they can go to hell. Your self-love is not threatening to anybody else,
Well, I gotta
but
say
not
this,
having
right?
self-love is threatening to you.
I have to say this, right? And I know it's not popular opinion, but obviously the women who are oppressed and understand what we go through will understand. But
Mm,
as women, we you're not only shamed, you know, in all these many ways that we just listed, but you're shamed through religion so bad. You're shamed, like, and I know I said it earlier, like coming into church with a certain body shape and wearing something and your clothes just fit you a certain way. You are immediately shamed, like, you should be wearing big baggy clothes and you
right,
should be covered up like
right,
this. No, stop looking at my body and having them lustful thoughts.
right.
How about don't look at my body? How
Right.
about control? How about recognize that you're having a thought that's lustful and you take accountability instead of putting the responsibility on me for
On
looking
me to
like
cover
this?
my body,
You now
like,
say, maybe I should control my thoughts, control myself. If you can't control your thoughts because your thoughts manifest, then you will act on your thoughts.
right.
If you don't have that level of self-control, if you see somebody dress a certain way and you go, you know what, you look this way and it's your fault that I feel this way. You should not be dressed like that because you're making people think like this. When I
Crazy.
hear that, I think about, I've heard
Crazy.
it a lot in the church. I used to hear
Yeah,
that a
me
lot.
too. I used to hear it
As a
all the
girl, I
time
need to
as well.
cover up,
Yeah,
do
to
this
go to
because you don't
church.
want
Yeah, me
men to be
too.
no, the men need to control themselves. That's the problem. I've heard things like dress like how you want to be treated. No, you treat people with respect because you are a person that gives people respect. You show people respect because that's who you are. You're a bad
Yeah.
person if you are choosing to treat somebody different. And the same people who will do this are the same people that will throw up the Bible and go, well, a Proverbs 31 woman, or a woman that's supposed to be like this,
Man,
or
shut
or
up.
even in Islam, a woman is supposed to be covered like this and like this, or
But how comes though?
because
I mean, you
you
ask them
are
that, they'll just
you
be
are
chatting shit.
encouraging men to lust because they're not responsible for their thoughts and their actions. Because if you get
Right.
raped and you have on something too revealing, that is also your fault.
We live in a deadly society for women, for real. We live in
Yeah,
this is why there's so much femicide as well. Like, it's really deadly for us, honestly. Like, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
it
You
is.
see me, and so many women, we talk about epigenetic trauma, yeah. And obviously we know there's so much trauma in the lineage of the divine feminine. But so many women are taught to be repulsed and shamed and be ashamed of their bodies in whichever way from a very, very young age. And I think about how I always felt, being constantly told to not wear this and to not wear that, right? Constantly told to cover up my bodies because people, if I didn't cover my body, people are going to be looking at me. Grown men are going to look at me funny, right? And it just is so much shame and disgust for yourself as you are, as a woman. You just cannot accept your body. You're not even, because your body is your home, essentially, right? It's what's housing your soul and your spirit for the time being. And you never flipping feel at home in your body because you're constantly taught to just be repulsed as a woman. And they don't even see how problematic it is. Like, I think my friend was telling me how she posted a picture a couple of days ago on Instagram. She looks stunning. And this was a pastor, he messaged her and said to her, stop turning all the men on. Right. He was a pastor. So she sent me a video. She was like, send me the video that you posted the other day, because I posted a video about a woman, phenomenal woman, talking about, when men say to women, leave something to the imagination, like, leave what to the imagination? Why are you looking at me and imagining that? What do you want to imagine about me in the first place? Is there something wrong with you? And it just shows, I said to myself, this one is a pastor, first of all. So you've clearly seen my picture. You could just say it's a nice picture. That could work. That could really suffice, but you didn't want you didn't want to say that.
Because he looked at the picture and he felt turned on. So
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So you now want to shame me or make it out
this is
like
your fault
to
that
be
I'm
a
feeling
joke.
this way.
Right. Stop turning the men on.
Yeah.
And you think that's a normal thing to say. And because that's the problem with men. They believe that we are, and this is back down to flipping Eve, the Eve and Adam and Eve story. They honestly do not, it's not even like they're pretending. They hold no accountability for their behaviors. They believe that's why if you're in a marriage, they believe that everything that that goes wrong in their lives is actually our fault.
Right.
So we are actually, it's our, like, if you see a girl and she is tightly dressed or whatever, you just get so angry. It's your fault I'm feeling like this, that's why, like, you hear marriages and you hear men all the time, everything that goes wrong is always the wife's fault. It's you're the one, you caused the problem. Zero accountability. Right. And it's like, again, we have to find out with men, what is it in your DNA or your chromosome that causes you to see a woman? And it is just sex that comes to mind. I don't give a damn shit.
You know what
we
it
are
is?
all human beings.
You know what it is? they in their chromosomes with them having the X and the Y only has like 70 genes in it, whereas the X has like 1,000 or something crazy like that. And because we have two X's, I
No, but
love
it's
that
true
book
though.
I'm
No,
reading.
but I
Because we
know.
have two X's, we have like,
That book,
a
right?
couple of
Yeah.
thousand worth of genes to pull
Yeah. So
from.
they're really
Whereas they're
short.
lacking.
Very
Yeah, they're
short. Yeah,
lacking, which
majorly
is
short.
why
70?
yeah, it's
God.
crazy. It's really
Compared to
low.
a couple thousand.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why we're
No
genetically
wonder. It makes
separated.
sense.
Yeah.
No,
It's
but
funny, but it's true.
seriously.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Like, I'm like, that's
Yeah.
why you cannot, like, you're not really reasoning properly at all. Like, you guys are not comprehending. They
No,
don't
they don't.
give a damn.
No, they don't. Because the
Yeah.
reality is they are not taught accountability. And
Zero
when you
accountability
have
though.
that type of privilege to not be accountable for yourself, it feels
And
good.
always blame outside though. It's
Yeah, it
always, you
feels good.
always
You're
blame.
now allowed to indulge in bad
Yeah.
behavior
Yeah.
and place the blame on the other person. You don't have to be accountable. And it's funny, it's ironic actually, because men are, especially a lot of these traditional men, these
Mm.
high value men, they want to be the leaders. They think that they're
High
supposed to be the
value.
leaders, and they think that they're supposed to be
Can't
the
even
leaders
lead.
and the
Lead what?
providers and the protectors. But it's like women, for the most part, when they need protecting,
They don't even
they
think they're
need,
meant to be providers. Liars.
yeah, most of them don't feel like that for real. But it's like when you're saying that you're a protector and a provider and a leader, women typically need protection from men.
Them, like we said, literally them.
And
How many times do you need protection from another woman? Is it not always the man?
yeah, it's always a man. And so when you need this protection, and the same people that are supposed to be protecting you don't even feel like they're responsible for their own behavior when they attack you or when they rape you or when they harass you, or they just don't feel like they're responsible for their thoughts or their actions in any
Right.
way, shape, or form. um it's already going to be an imbalance.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make sense to you, that
Yeah.
you are allowed to, you believe in your head that you're this leader, but if you as a leader don't possess self-control and don't know how to look at yourself and say, this is where I can get better, this is where I can grow,
Right.
why do you deem yourself fit as a leader?
Because
Why
they
do you
believe that
feel
they're
like you're
leaders.
supposed to be leading anything when
No,
you can't
because
even control yourself and it's funny
right.
because when you think about that, that really screams to me lack of, well, it is lack of emotional intelligence, but it's really emotional. It's like you're so emotional that you have to act on these impulses, and it's funny because women are the ones that stereotypically are deemed as emotional
What
creatures
they mean is the
because,
women are strategic. That's the I've
yeah,
learned.
no, we're
No, when they
emotional
call us
because
emotional.
sometimes we know how to tap into our emotions, as in we're human, so we cry. And I understand that society tells men that they shouldn't cry, but men also subscribe to that same system because you like all the other
Mm,
benefits from it. So the fact that you're not allowed to cry is your fault because you perpetuate that system. You want to be this masculine man, so you
right.
don't feel like you're supposed to do that. But how it's hurting
Right.
you is you're now projecting onto women that we're emotional when the fact is we're human beings and we're expressing ourselves like human beings. But
Right.
you are so emotional that you can do something as violent as raping a woman or attacking a woman or shaming her for her body or looking at a child and saying that she looks grown or she looks sexy or she looks too much and she needs to change her clothes. And you can do that and not see that as emotional, not see that as an impulsive urge,
Right.
and you're just literally
Right.
just having no
That's
kind
why
of
I called it
accountability
like,
for it.
that's why I feel like it's stingy. I feel like it's strategic. Like, it's because when you talk about aside from the crying, right, of women, they call us emotional when we are able to reason and provide logic in a way that they cannot. I call it logic. It's not emotional at all. Like they are emotional, like you said. They have zero control over the emotions regularly. Like they have
Right.
zero control over it. Women are not. Women are very controlled. We control our emotions, first of all. It's
Yeah, we
just that,
do.
and we are logical. I think we are
Right.
very logical
Extremely
beings.
logical and
So when we're having a
intuitive.
conversation, like, it's the intuition that makes us logical. Like,
Right.
honestly. So when we're having a conversation with them, and we are bringing facts and logic and strategy, because that's the kind of minds that we actually naturally have, they will name it emotional because they cannot follow. And oftentimes when we're having these conversations with them, what we're doing is saying, like, they might say something stupid, which is what they normally do, something very dumb. So a woman's mind will go, yeah, but that doesn't make sense because of this, and this, and I don't agree. Straight away, you're emotional.
Right.
If a man was in your position saying the same things that you're saying to him, you're not emotional, you're smart. Oh, okay, right. I get it. But the minute we provide any kind of logic, it's, oh my God, you're emotional. And back to the accountability thing, I saw a meme on Instagram, and it was powerful because it said, oh, they just be standing no chance. I don't even have likes on it. They do have a chance. You have to reprogram, but everything they are taught from the beginning just does not allow them to really reason. They're programming them. And it was a meme, and it said, it was like three questions. Why do women, how many women are killed every year? How many women are raped every year? And then the feminist page crossed it out and said, how many men kill women every year? How many men rape women every year? That is the difference. Something as small as that. You see the programming in that.
Right.
Because instead of putting the responsibility on women, how many women are killed each year? No. Turn the question round. Because that question, again, is literally putting responsibility on us. No.
Right.
And as small as that, and it also allows them to detach themselves from it and again blame the woman. So what did you do to get killed? As opposed to, why did the man kill her?
Right.
You know what I mean? And constantly, this is literally, even the language literally shows them not to ever have any accountability for their behaviors. None. And that fucking petrifies me when I sit online or when I meet them and I hear them. Like, one guy told me the other day, a woman should know her place, and I was nearly physically sick. I was like, oh my God, someone that knew my friend, and he was just like, yeah, well, women should know their place though. And I was like, oh my God. You know, it's really, really scary for me. You know, like, we say all of these things and it's like we're talking about what we're going through in society, but it's really scary for me to have to be living in a world where these men feel like this.
Yeah.
You know, and oftentimes it doesn't matter how much we have these conversations. This is why I'm saying that I always like to talk to us as women, and I don't bother talking to them because I really will not be gaslit. Right. And it is honestly very actually scary for me to believe that as women.
It's a different kind of gaslighting too, because they believe it.
That's my point. So to live in a world with men who believe this. You know what I mean? I'm living in a world.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, we're living in a world where men actually believe this. And so when they kill us and when they oppress us, they have no sympathy, zero. They think that this is how they're supposed to be. It's actually so scary for me.
Yeah.
You know, and then when we say this, they say, oh, shut up, you're making a big deal. Your guys are free now. That's the one that drives me mad. Every time I see them say, and they believe it. They're like, what are you talking about? Women are free now. And it's like, it's so scary. Just like white people with the all lives matter.
What are you talking about? You're free now. Slavery and colonization. It's over.
Oh, they say so much. And then you got some of us who have been infiltrated by them saying the same, regurgitating the same bullshit, you know, or then you have the women who don't even understand that we're so asleep. We're still so stuck under this rock that we don't even know we have a problem. We also believe we're free. And then they get irritated with women like you and I who are speaking up about this level of oppression that we're dealing with.
I think one of the scariest things is it's so many men that subscribe to this kind of thinking. And they literally sound like white people. But a lot of these same men, when it comes to police brutality and just certain, you know, structures that still exist, they see these things and they go, see what Black men are going through, and they play as if they understand white supremacy. But you don't, because if you did understand white supremacy, you would understand that the same way that you're a victim in these situations, and white people play like they don't see it, you know, you perpetuate the same thing until another group of people, and you do the same thing and act like you don't see it. And there's no way you can completely understand how you feed the system. In fact, most of them really love white supremacy.
I was going to say they love white supremacy.
Yeah, they love it. They love it. In fact, they idolize the white man's
way of structure,
of power, what that looks like. They want his woman, they want his power, good. They want to live like how
they want
his
structure. They're like, we love it, it's good, it's great.
They need to decolonize their minds. and go
Yeah.
backwards. Seriously, I
Yeah,
don't know
for
what they
real.
need to do, but it's a crazy level of work. And it's slightly triggering for me. And not that long ago I had this conversation with my granny, and
Yeah.
we were talking about it's in the realm of body shaming, but we were talking about clothes and different people's clothes, and
Right.
what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. And my argument was that you know we're not supposed to judge people's clothes and how they dress. And my granny basically said, well, that's why, some women have gotten raped, or that's why women get raped. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And so it turned into this big debate, and I got real emotional. I didn't end up crying or anything, but I was very passionate at that point
Right.
because I was somebody who was abused as a very young girl. And for me to say something like, your clothes have anything to do with it. No, the only reason why it's happening is because there's somebody that's sick and they feel entitled to your body, and they
Right.
feel like they have a right to go and fulfill this pleasure for them, despite whether you want it, whether you're accepting, or whether whatever the situation is, they feel like they can just take that. And it was triggering for me because obviously why it was triggering for me. But in the same breath is so sad, because the same way that we just have to live in this world that tells us that, and so many of us experience that abuse in so many different ways, whether it's the verbal abuse all throughout our lives about how we're not good enough and how our bodies are not good enough, no matter what end of the spectrum you fall on. But also, when you get abused, it's your fault. So when you're saying it to me, I'm like, the women who get raped that are covered completely from head to toe, the children that are getting raped, it has nothing to do
Yeah.
with the clothes.
Of
So
course, it
the
has nothing
argument
to
in
do with the
itself is
clothes.
is not only triggering and sad and just dangerous and it's violent, because when people who are already rapists hear that, because you're a rapist, when you hear that and you say that, you're a rapist. In my opinion,
Mm,
if you were a man and you thought like
definitely,
that, you're a
definitely,
rapist.
definitely.
So when you're a woman saying that, I'm like, obviously you're brainwashed because society has told you that. I think it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that you believe it as a woman, because
Yeah.
you believe that you deserve to be raped
Yeah.
based on
So
what you
many
have on.
women.
And that is so sad to me. But it's even more sad, or scary rather, that you have these men out here that are going, yeah, when she's dressed like that, that's the attention you're going to get.
Yeah.
You're a rapist.
Yeah. And nobody blames the rapist. They will always blame the woman. It's very rare
Always
to
blame
be
the
like, yeah,
woman.
we know he's a rapist, but let's not focus on him. What was she wearing? What
Yeah.
was
What
she
was she
doing?
wearing?
Oh, it's really exhausting. I have to be
Yes.
honest. Like it always makes me, sometimes I just get a bit overwhelmed with it, um, with what we're dealing with. I do. I get really overwhelmed by everything. I have to be honest. I was listening to just now and I was just like, oh, I felt like I could really feel a lot of the weight, for God's sake, the weight of womanhood in this world,
Mhm.
how they're treating us and how we're living. It's just really exhausting. It's really
Yeah, it is.
exhausting. It's a battle. You fight yourself and then you fight society, then you fight the patriarchy, and then you fight other women who are victims,
Mhm.
of the society. We fight them too.
Yeah, we
And
fight.
it's just like everybody just wants to be free. That's all we want, to be free. We literally, women just want to be free, you know. And I think that what's the saddest part is that some women, like you were saying earlier, they don't actually want to be free. They don't even know what freedom stems like, and then they will say things like, well, I need a man, not all women. And I'm like, nobody's saying that you don't have. If you want, have a man. Like, don't be
Right.
obtuse in this conversation, because we're having these are serious ass conversations of what we're going through. You can do that if you want that. But what we're talking about here is real life shit, having
Right.
autonomy over our bodies, not being killed, not being oppressed. Like, I don't know
Being
about you, but
attacked.
I'm tired of that quality of life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I want to show up
Likewise.
powerfully. I want to be allowed to show up as myself and as who I am. So this is literally why we even are constantly having these conversations, because this is what women are really going through.
Right.
And we talk about we're talking about the rape as well, but all of this lack of accountability, it all leads to femicide as well.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to so much femicide with women are constantly being killed. So apart from the fact that we are shamed, our bodies, we don't own our bodies, we can't dress how we want to dress, we're responsible. But this is what I was saying, by the way, I didn't get to finish last time. But so the thing that scares me the most is that the men are It's that they say it like it's so normal, and I'm like, you're not normal. I don't care. That's not normal. That when you see a woman, all they do is think about sex.
Yeah.
You see a woman and you see me walking down the street and you're looking at my body already. Oh my God, that her dress is too tight. She needs to go on because she's making me, she's going to make men. Then it's that's the world that we live in. You don't see how problematic it is. Like, we keep saying it like it's normal, but as a woman, what you guys are saying is 99% of men, when we walk down the street, have zero control, and all when they see a woman, all they see is sex and an object. That is fucking scary.
And they experience sex in a different way. Unless you're a man who have been raped by another man, they experience sex in a different way as well. So for a lot of them, even the idea, and there's some of them who still have experienced trauma and can understand trauma, but the scary majority of them, because of the way that they relate to sex, when we are walking in that type of fear, they can't even relate. They can't even relate to the feeling of being smaller or being unheard, or the way sex can be so very violently painful and kill you. You know what I mean? Like the type of trauma that we experience dealing with them and their attacks, they don't even know what that feels like. It's like you're walking in a cage full of lions, honestly, like ready to attack. You know how terrifying that would be to walk through a cage of lions? That's what
And
it
it is
feels
just like,
like.
that's exactly, that is
You're like, I don't know if any
literally
one of them finna try to
every
grab me.
woman.
You're afraid to even tell a guy, no, I can't give you
No,
my number. You're
yeah.
afraid to, you just try to ignore
Every
them when
time
you're
you see a
walking
group of
by.
men, though, it's true. Every time we see a
You
woman, think
kind of
about as women, every
clench, you
time.
ignore them, you want to be on your phone, you want to be
Yeah,
doing
every
something.
single
And
time.
they know that they're like that
Yeah,
because when they have a woman or a daughter, they're extra hard on them, like, don't do this, don't do this. Don't do this.
yeah,
No, why don't you acknowledge the problem that you all have? And why don't you
yeah.
start standing up as men, as leaders? And why don't you start checking each other? And why don't you start checking yourself? Why don't you stop and acknowledge the fact that, damn, why can't I look at a woman and not immediately think about what it would be like to have sex with her? Why am I looking at her body and looking at this part and looking at this part and just obsessing over only that? She is a human
Insane.
being. She might have some life going on. She might be doing some amazing things in her career. She might be making strides spiritually and adding to this world in phenomenal ways, making the world a better place like we do as women.
Right.
You don't see any of that, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So,
It's a system of privilege, like you said, though, in the sense of like white supremacy. In the same way, it benefits them.
right.
So that's what I've come to understand, honestly, because that's how I see white supremacy as well. I don't believe the
Yeah.
white people don't know what's going on. They fucking do know what's going on. They don't give
Yeah.
a shit, and they purposely gaslight us and act obtuse because it benefits
Right.
them.
Right.
Now, men, this is why I always say it, because it's like they have emotions and feelings. It's not like they're void of it. They just don't have it when it comes to us because they don't care. The system makes them feel good. This is why I call them energy leeches. They get their energy from, which is crazy because you're stealing our energy, you're oppressing us and beating us down to boost your ego. So essentially, you're collecting my energy to boost yourself, right?
Right.
But what you don't fucking realize, well, I guess they do. That's why they don't do it. They want to stay on top. If you were now being sane to me and giving me loving energy, what I would bring would be multiplied and magnified. It would be mind blowing.
Of course.
But no, you would rather oppress
They're
me
not
because the system
logical.
benefits you. It's good for
Yeah.
your ego. Like, and I think it is, the thing is as well, we were saying how, they see us all the time and they can't think straight, right? And I realized that most men, and this is what they talk about anyway, their whole lives are based around women, how to get a woman, how to conquer a woman, how to sleep with a woman. It's a constant, right?
From young.
Now, women, we have the same, we have it in the sense of like, often we bond over our trauma of men. Often we talk about our trauma of men, but we have that same notion only because that society tells us that we're not valid unless we have them. Right. So sometimes we're like, okay, I want a husband, but we don't spend our entire lives constantly thinking of how to get men when we go out, like as many men as I can sleep with and blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, that's because you guys honestly believe that we are phenomenal. You see us in a way that we don't even see ourselves.
Right.
That's what I've realized. They will never admit it, but you literally see us. That's the same way white people see black people. They pretend like they see us as trash, but really, we're like fucking lit.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
So I'm like, you see women and you know that we're like amazing beings. You're so, just fucking admit it. Just admit it and let us like, but you won't, because you're like, no, if we now show, if these phenomenal beings get on top, I don't know why they reason like that. It's the same thing with white supremacy. If these phenomenal beings realize how phenomenal they are, then what will happen? You think we're going to throw you to the side, or you're not going to be needed, or you just don't want us to have that power because them being over, because they think we're so amazing. If they're over us, it means to them that they're more amazing than us. You know, they must really be powerful.
And it's the same thing I noticed with white people. You feel like the equality essentially means that you lose power.
Yeah.
You feel like you feel like giving somebody the respect that they deserve, their God-given right, means that you are now losing.
Yeah.
Instead of believing that the world is existing the way that it's intended to exist, people are supposed to exist and experience and live.
Because the energy leeches. Somebody must be down on the ground.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It does. They have
to be above
like,
you to feel good about myself.
And I think I'm sure there's a science of it as well. I'm serious. I really, when I call them energy leeches, I don't even say that lightly. I really mean it, because that's what it is. It's an unequal energy exchange of energy. When I'm down or when I'm oppressed or whatever, it actually genuinely makes you feel good. Your ego is boosted. You feel so amazing. Right. Whereas I'm depleting. So you're literally stealing from me. Like, it's really, it's a system. It's a really foreign system of living. And it's a system. This is not how we lived. Yeah. It's not how we lived at all, you know? So we do say, all of that to, stop shaming people, please. Give people the autonomy over their bodies. Like, mind your business, basically. Mind your business. Like, mind your business. And if you're so worried about, just be worried about yourself. Don't worry if that person is fat or if that person is slim. I know you think that you're doing them a favor. Like, oh, I'm really worried about them. You're not. Just worry about yourself. Right. Because you're just feeding into the patriarchal oppression of people. Right. And you just don't have that right. Let people just live freely. Don't be like, poor Lizzo. Like, all people do is insult her. Do you not know that there's something wrong with you? You are horrible. You're a nasty person. You are a nasty person. And I get it. Yes, you're victims. We're all victims of society and we're victims of our programming. But you get to a certain stage in life where you know better. You're a grown adult. You are a horrible ass human being. When you sit there and you see somebody being happy, and then you're like, well, I don't like their body, so they're disgusting, I'm going to insult. Even if you don't like them, the body is not there for you to like. Who the fuck are you? Right. Do you know what I mean? Men honestly ask, who the fuck are you? Just mind your business. Is my body there for you to like? Yeah. You don't have to focus like my body. And you're so, that's the thing. Society has told us that we're so entitled to look at each other and judge each other and, oh, she's nicer, she's not nice. That you actually feel so entitled to tell me, well, I don't like her body. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that information, brother? Right. I don't care if you don't like my body. So now you don't like my body. What should I do that you don't like it? I should now go and change it to be more aesthetically pleasing for you. And then when I meet this one over here and he feel a different way, I need to go and change it. I go change for him too. And I meet this one and he like this other thing over here. And then on top of that, when I do all of that, I'm not going to be shamed for doing that. Oh my gosh, she has no mind. They still going to treat you like trash. No matter what you do to your body or change about yourself, your hair, your this, your that, they all going to treat you like trash. They all going to cheat. They all feel like they're entitled to the world. But you're not. So, and you're never enough, man. You are never enough. You'll never be enough. If you're thick, somebody will always complain about something. If you're slim, you're too thick. Yeah, like it's just, so just mind your damn business and let women live their lives. Stop fucking body shaming them. If you don't like how she looks, turn your head and look at something else. Period. You don't have to voice that. Like, she's not there for you. God did not create this woman for you to look at her and say, I really love your body. Now she's validated. You know what I mean? You sound kind of nuts. Right. So let's leave women alone, I beg. And women, ladies, you are phenomenal. If you want to wear that short pants, wear that short pants. If you want to wear the bikini, wear that bikini. And this is me saying this because it's something I've struggled with my entire life. I started going to the gym recently and I had these little pom-pom shorts that I ordered. They weren't actually meant to be pom-pom shorts. They were meant to be just like normal short shorts, right? Mm-hmm. And I have always had a problem with showing my legs because my legs are the biggest part of my body. And I felt like they were not nice and they had cellulite and all of these different things, which is ironic because people are always like, oh my God, you got nice legs. But I just couldn't see it. It's like, girl, you gotta put them shorts on. He's like, I don't want to wear the shorts. I'm like, girl. Right. You see, you know, right. You gotta put them shorts on, girl. Like I would send Tori images of the bodies that I liked when we were still like earlier on, and she'd be like, "What are you sending me?" She'd be like, "You better not send me a fucking stick figure." Right, they'd be straight stick figure.
Straight
But
sexual.
yeah, like, so I would not wear, I was conscious about going to the gym even with my shorts on, because I'm like, oh my God, because men are already problematic. Like you said, it's a lion's fucking den. But I've always wanted to wear stuff like that. But I felt like, one, it would draw attention, but two, my legs weren't nice enough to put it on. But then a few months back, I said, fuck it, I'm going to wear it. And I wore it. And I remember I had on a baggy top, because that's what, they tell you as well. If you're going to wear something short and tight, then it can't all be short and tight. One should be tight, one should be baggy. All of these stupid rules you put in your head. So that's how I went to the gym the first time. And I was really nervous about it, but I did it, right? And I was telling my cousin too, and she's like, oh yeah, get it out or whatever, And even when I said that, the shorts, I'm going to wear a baggy top. She also said it too. She was like, yeah, it's true. Wear a baggy top, it's better, because we are groomed in this way. It was only when after a while I got freer and freer. Please, I'll be wearing them pom-pom shirts now. My bum cheeks hang out. I don't give a damn. Like, it's crazy how life changes, and I'm so grateful for it. I wear those shorts now. In fact, I wear them with a sports bra. It's short, tight crop top now, or a tight top. And I remember my cousin saying it again, like saying something like, I don't even think she realized she did it. She said, when she mentioned the top again, I said, no, I'll wear a tight top if I want to wear a tight top. And then as soon as I said that, even she was like, oh yeah, of course. Because you don't even realize that you're adding these little programmings into your mind. So now you're telling me, wear these shorts because you're gorgeous, but still don't, make it back. I don't
balance
give a
it out.
god.
Yeah,
I'm not balancing nothing.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to wear the shorts.
Be happy with yourself. Whatever makes you
Period.
feel good when you put it on. It's like, this is the look I'm going for. Go for
and
that
this is
look
what I'm
and
going,
own
right.
it. Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't need to be watered down or like, and of course I still feel, I'm still learning to really adore my body. And I do, even I have issues still with it, but I'm learning to just embrace her and be like, this is how she's supposed to look. I don't care. So even when I go out now, I'd be so proud of myself. I mean, like, people who know me, I mean, like short shorts, I mean, skirts, mini skirts, I mean, mini dresses. This is a new thing for me. And it's honestly so liberating. Right. It's so liberating. And I really wish that for all women. Like, don't not wear it because you think your body shape's not nice. Your body shape is gorgeous. Wear it. It's for you. Wear it out. And people will accept you as you are. And again, if they don't accept you, they're fucking losers. You don't want to be friends with nasty people. I don't want to be friends with somebody who looks at me and deems me unworthy or not fit or not nice enough because I weigh a certain type, I weigh a certain amount, or because I'm wearing a short skirt, or because I'm wearing a thong. Fucking go to hell. You're not my kind of person. I don't want to be, you're not tribe. I don't want to be your friend.
Right. Well, the message for the day is, ladies, own yourself. Own it, girl. Love yourself. Body. Decide for yourself what makes you happy. Obviously my thing is always being health focused, health centered. Everything revolves around health, and just trying to get better, better than who I was, not comparing myself to anybody else, not living up to other people's ideas of what I need to be and what I don't need to be. I'm still undoing a lot of damage that's been done with me. I'm still learning to accept so many different parts of myself. And the more that I do, I realize how much I love myself. Beautiful, and how amazing I am. And
that's dope.
And it's like, if I could go back and tell younger me something, it'd be like, girl, you so cute, you so fly, girl, you this, you that. I would just boast myself, and our kids need it, we need it, our inner children need it, and we just need to grow and get past this stage, so ladies, don't take on other people's opinions of what you need to be. You define that for yourself. And watch your self-talk. If your self-talk is negative, whether it's about yourself or whether it's about somebody else, just check it. Because
if your self-talk is negative, you're going to be negative to other people. That's the bottom line. Yeah, period. You can't help it.
And you don't deserve it. And they damn sure don't deserve it either. It's not your business. So and if it's a man telling you what you need to do, girl, you need to just
definitely go to hell.
Throw him back to the streets, honey. Throw him back. Like get rid of him, because his opinion definitely doesn't matter.
Doesn't count.
We living for ourselves in 2022. And
you know what I mean?
Moving forward, we're not doing that anymore. We're growing and we're getting better.
So man. Love and light, guys. Love and light. As cliche as it sounds, that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Because life is so much sweeter that way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But ladies, we're gonna
This is our
wrap this
season
thing.
finale. Season 2. We'll be back in a couple
Wrapping
of months. In
season
2 months,
1, ladies.
guys.
I'm
We
getting
shall be
ahead of
back in 2
myself.
months with you guys. We have a few bonuses lined up for you so that you don't miss us too much in the 2 months break. So stay tuned. And of course, we're on Twitter at the Power Podcast. We're on Instagram at the Power Podcast. Shoot us a message. You know, we love hearing from you guys. Shoot us a message, give us feedback, comments, like, share, all of that good stuff.
Right. Stay tuned, ladies. Check in.
Stay tuned, guys.
Subscribe, and we will see you next season.
Bye. Love y'all.
Ladies.
It's been great.